was a 10-month-long trial. In the trial, we proved because the people came in and testified that yes, this was reported. Lawyers, judges, Lori Hellam, Judge Solomon, the doctors, the psychologists, yes, the mother and the child, both together and separately, reported being abused, that the child was being abused by the father. They testified that yes, we started to do some investigation and this abuse was substantiated. This is why I won my case.
Right.
We proved it. And then it moved from criminal court to family court, and all of a sudden the family court wanted to have absolutely nothing to do with any of this information. They didn't want to talk to the doctors, they didn't want the documents, they didn't want the videotaped therapy sessions of my son drawing and narrating exactly what his father had done to him. It was all completely wiped out, wouldn't be allowed in his evidence, didn't want to see it, nothing. So right there you have to, it's scary. That's a scary situation where it's proven in one court and you have this documentation and here's a child in danger and maybe other children in danger and nobody wants to do anything about it.
The horror about this is that you could actually go to federal court now and most likely prevail. The problem is the amount of time that it's going to take you to do that. It's going to be moot because because of his age.
Because in 14 months he's going to be 18 years
right,
old.
So it's going to take you that long.
Longer than
and
that.
we figured that out and stuff like that. And this is very, very aggravating. As you know, I sent your first interview to the Chief Justice. Okay, Justice. I hope you're out there watching. I sent her the first tape, and I gave her some time. I thought I gave her plenty of time in case she wanted administration to get back to me and say, hey, maybe we need to do something, or I want to do something different. I got no answer or anything else. It is sadly sad, because I know where she went to school. I'm aware that that at one time she was in charge of family courts, I believe, or at least the juvenile justice system part of the court.
It's also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I thought that she would respond, or at least have her administrator respond. She didn't, so we are proceeding because courts are public and they're public record, and so we are proceeding down the line doing these several interviews, not only with you. We have another case. Yeah, we have another. We have some.
Yeah. Well, that's the other reason I think this is so important. Not just my case. Yes, of course, it's very personal to me. It's my child, but because it's happening to other people and it's happening, it seems like the same way, the same systems, the same decisions based on nothing in the same court. And it's very concerning that you said when you sent it to the Chief Justice that I know personally that they're getting a lot of complaints about the same attorney, the same judge, the same court system because I've talked to people. And there's something wrong, and why don't they want to do something?
We know, and we've been involved with the case for now multiple years. I'm looking at my cameraman back there. I've been involved with one case for multiple years, where the abuse, the violations of civil rights were unbelievable, where one attorney represented both sides, where clearly the influence of who you knew was involved. And this is out of Norwich. This is the Norwich.
It is.
It's
this
the
is
Norwich
where the problem is.
This was the court that we were involved in, that I was involved with. I have one story that's an Oprah story that we are preparing, and we're not going to give it to the Chief Justice. We're gonna try and get it all together over a period of time, and then we're going to spring it so that it gets national attention. Because there's nobody doing anything about this court.
No.
And it comes out of this court. The guardian ad litem was outrageous, scary person. Okay, that was involved. So okay, and all of this is supposed to be about the best interest of the child.
Yes,
it's supposed to be void of whether your side or his side or her side. It is supposed to be focused on the best interest of the child, and we have seen that this isn't the case.
Well, no, it isn't, because if you look at my case, if you're going to take a child away from a parent and theoretically terminate their rights for no reason, no logical reason, no kidnapping, no convictions, no abuse, no neglect, nothing on my part, nothing that shows that this child is going to be harmed by me or whatever parent it may be, and you might have some concern that there might be some harm with the other parent, but you don't care. That's actually, my feeling is, these judges, these attorneys, these guardian ad litems in this court that have made that decision are abusing that child, are putting that child in a dangerous, abusive, psychologically, mentally, physically situation, because there's no reason that my son should not have any contact with me for 5 years now.
It's absolutely outrageous.
It's outrageous.
It's
outrageous.
outrageous.
Every civil right for both he and I, every constitutional right, parental right, right to the family, every right that we have in this country has been violated,
but
with no logical reason.
But you both of your rights have been violated.
Yes.
His rights and probably his total life is going to be totally fouled up, because there can be no best interest here for the rest of his life, him not understanding or able to find out what the situation is with his mother. And we already know the amount of suffering that you go through daily and have go through all the time. Okay? And I know others that are doing the same thing, and I got a horrendous one that I'm going through right now, that again is a very bad situation, and everybody is going to, there's suffering involved.
Yeah.
My questions then starts to become, well, you know, if a court continues to do this and they are getting all these complaints, then there must be an openness for civil lawsuits to be able to be pursued where parties have been seriously damaged. I mean, if you go to prison, okay, like I had 2 friends that went to prison falsely, and they sued the Massachusetts prison system, and they were found not guilty. They were framed by the justice system.
Right.
They sued the justice system, and they got millions of dollars. And it was upheld. This is right across the border.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at cases while I'm doing this, and I'm saying, well, what's the difference here?
Actually, there isn't any, because very little difference, because I've started to pursue that. I went to another attorney who was just a friend locally, and brought some of the documents that I have showing what happened, what that was based on, which was nothing, how long I've had no contact. The fact that one of the documents actually says an order that you are no longer allowed to file any motions with regard to your son in family court, which is illegal. You can't tell somebody they can't file. That's our due process right.
That's right.
But anyway, this other attorney here locally who looked at it and looked at some information that I actually had some from other cases that I've researched myself, was mortified. He says this is one of the biggest civil constitutional suits against this local Norwich court and these judges that I've ever seen, and gave me a name of somebody in New Haven that they want me to go and take all this documents to go.
Well, as you know, if we get 3 people,
yeah. Well, you
got a class action.
Yes.
If you have 3 people,
I think we've got that.
And I think we've got the 3, at least 3 people who have and are coming out of the same court.
Yep.
So I mean, this is kind of you know, I don't like to make threats, and I'm not sure if the Chief Justice is going to be watching this and seeing what's going on, but this is a federal lawsuit. And this should be taken, and there should be damages to all the people involved. And if prisoners can win, when the justice system has abused them, what would be
private citizens that have been abused by, we should be able to
violated their rights.
But it's not even just that. You think ahead. I think to my son, not knowing what he's thinking and what he's been told, he has a lifetime, or at least once he turns 18, 10, 15 years of issues and figuring it out, and who told him what, and who told him the truth and who didn't, and why not, and psychological issues, and unfortunately having to relive every document that came through, and every tape we tried to do, and everything we tried to do to make it right, to understand. And this justice system has put him in that situation. They didn't have to put him in this situation.
No, they didn't, and they put you in this situation. And again, we want to make sure. One of the reasons I'm doing, we're doing this show, but this show specifically so that my audience understands that you want